What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and today we have the Canadian men's national team roster announcement coming very shortly. Canadian men's national team Universe was tweeting them all day, and I'm pretty sure they said that they were going to drop it around 2:10, so it was supposed to be 5 minutes ago, and it's right here. Cue the noise. Let's share. It is here and available. They just tweeted it. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you can see that nice and easy. Our roster is out. This is a fresh, like it literally dropped seconds ago. Like literally seconds before I came in here. So if you guys are excited to get into it, be sure to drop a like on the stream. Subscribe if you are new. And yeah, I'm going to dive right on in. Let you guys know if I think there's any, I guess, surprises, anything like that. Let me know in the comments right now, guys, if you said there is surprises or not. But it's up, it's on right here, so let's take a look. So, I guess, no particular order. Actually, I am. I'm going to start with the keepers. The three keepers is I see Borien, obviously, no real surprise there. Maxime Crépeau is the secondary one. And James Pandemis is the third. Okay, so not crazy amount of surprises. I mean, Dane St. Clair could have been there for third choice, but the third string doesn't matter that much. I mean, it's James Pandemis. He comes in, no big surprises. That leaves Maxime Crépeau more than likely being our backup to our main man, our skipper, Milan Borien, to lead us between the sticks. So I guess after that, we'll go for defenders, I guess. I mean, on the left back position, I see Samuel Adakubi. Actually, I'm just going to go in order. You know what? I don't want to get lost. So let's just go in order, guys. The first name you guys see here is Samuel Adakubi. No big surprise. He got his move to Turkey. He's played relatively well in his opening matches. Nothing crazy there. I'm glad that he's back in, and it can give us an opportunity to potentially play a 4-4-2 rather than playing with the three at the back and having Davies as a wingback. We have Milan Borien, who's back, and he'll be more than likely the starting keeper between the sticks in our first couple matches. Tajon Buchanan, after his brand new move to Club Bruges, he's going to have an opportunity to go back and finish up his season at the Revs before going over to Belgium, but it's good to see him in there. Lucas Cavallini is in, so that's good to hear. We have Maxime Crépeau, which is no surprise. He had a strong Gold Cup performance. Jonathan David is back in, which is fantastic. Alphonso Davies as well. So already, David, Davies, and Tajon Buchanan, really excited to see those guys together with my boy Stefan Eustachio. Liam Frazier's in, which is a little interesting. I know a lot of people had some doubts of whether they thought he was in good enough form to be called up. I assumed he probably would have, because I wasn't expecting Scott Arfield, which I'm seeing your guys' comments, and yeah. And James, I agree with you. No Scott Arfield pretty much confirms he's done with the national team, and I think you're right. I don't expect him to probably come back. If he wasn't going to come to these ones, the first three games, then yeah, I don't know. But another interesting point from Brady, which we'll get to soon. That is interesting, though. And then we have Daniel Henry, our old faithful, playing over in South Korea. We got Junior Hoylett, who, for those of you guys who probably do know, he got a club. He's playing in the championship still with Reading. Atiba Hutchinson is here, which is fantastic. No way Atiba's playing all three matches, but he will definitely, my assumption, will probably start and play two, and then will not start at all in the other one. We got Aleister Johnson, no surprise. Mark Anthony Kaye. A very informed Scott Kennedy, whose club is top of the Bundesliga 2 right now, so having an informed Scott Kennedy is just fantastic. Kyle Larin in there, no surprise. Richie Larea, no surprise. Kamal Miller, who I've told you guys a few times was one of the underrated performers of the Gold Cup. I thought he was incredible. We have Jonathan Osorio, James Penentes, who's going to be our third string keeper. Samuel Piet, Stephen Vittoria, and David Wotherspoon, who's back in, which is pretty much good to see. Very much as I expected, as probably a lot of you guys expected. The main one is Scott Arfield, who, it probably assumes that his team's done. There is also Corbiano, who hasn't got any minutes with Sheffield Wednesday. Not a surprise that he's not coming in, as well as there's Tyler Pasher, who didn't come in. Leah Miller. But we'll get into the chat now, guys. We'll get into the chat. We'll leave that on screen for you guys. But it's good. We got excellent timing for today's stream. David says hello. If you guys are excited for the World Cup qualifiers, be sure to come in here, drop a like, say hello in the chat, and let me know what you guys think of the original 23. Because we can have up to 26, guys. Don't forget that. I want it to drop now. Well, you're in luck, Luke Carrier. It has been dropped. Happy Raptors fan. Says sup, not too much. Brady says, we need 4 points in this window, and I see it happening. Come on, Canada. What do you guys think, guys? Put in the chat right now. What do you guys think? Do you think that we need 4 points, or do you prefer 6? Well, obviously, you'd prefer 6. But realistically, do you think we could get away with 4 points? Because I think we need 6. I know the States game will be that kind of odd man out, depending on how we line up for it. There's been theories of whether we should rest some of our players against the States, which I hope we don't. I hope we're able to play as strong as a team as we can in each of the 3. But I think that we should obviously go for 6 points. I think that would be crucial. Tyler says 7. It could be a stretch, but I mean, I think we need at least 6. The roster is out now, my man. Brady says, I think 6 and 7 are real possibilities. Realistically, though, I'm happy with a win against El Salvador and a draw against Honduras. And then I'm assuming Brady's saying a loss against the United States. Yeah, I guess that Honduras one is going to be tricky. Even the El Salvador, they had a good Gold Cup performance. 4 points, I don't know. If we want to compete for that 3rd spot, I think we need a bare minimum of 6. We need 10 points from our first 3 games. Not sure if the math quite adds up. I'm assuming you're making a joke. Is Honduras away? No. I don't think so. Are they? Is Honduras away, guys? I think we're home for 2, and then we're in Nashville. So I think Honduras and El Salvador are home, and then we're in Nashville when we take on the States. But correct me if I'm wrong. Honduras and El Salvador are in Toronto, and the U.S. game is in Nashville. Thank you, Brady. That is what I thought. Joking aside, if we want to qualify, we have to beat Honduras, El Salvador at home, because away in Honduras will be a super tough place to get points. I agree with that. And that's why I think 6 of 9 isn't bad. Who knows what will happen against the States? It'll be fun. We are the away team. But yeah, at home, everyone said the most challenging thing that this Canadian men's national team is going to have to deal with is the away games, the away atmosphere. Honduras away will be challenging. This is an opportunity to take 6 points from our home matches. And we'll be here streaming the watch along. So hopefully you guys are excited for that. But I think 6 at least. Anything home should be a win against those teams. US, a draw is totally doable. 7 is the target. Interesting. 7. We got a range of 6 and 7 right now. Canada Soccer Twitter said 5 more minutes. Yes, it is live now. But yeah, let's go on to the Scott Arfield. Guys, let me know in the chat right now. No Scott Arfield, that's a huge surprise, to be honest. So Brady thought it was a surprise. I would have been very surprised if he was in the team. I feel like Scott Arfield's career with the Canadian men's national team is probably over. I think this is a big indication of that. I'm not surprised, but it is interesting. And if you guys want to go in the chat right now and put in 3 names who aren't on here who could still be called up. We're allowed 26. We have 23. So Leah Miller of FC Basel, who is in Switzerland, he's had a few minutes. He's had his legs wet a little bit. And any in the Russian league is another option as well. I don't think Corbiano is coming up, and I don't think he should. I do not think he's in any type of form to come in. Of course, Daniel Jebsen would have been a surprise if he got called up. Wasn't called up. ZVG could be another one we bring up. But only 23 names, and I thought we could name 26. We could. There is a chance I'm thinking maybe we could name some more. No Arfield, and yes, I'm assuming he's pretty much done from the national team. Nice roster. Qualifiers predictions. I did put my octagonal predictions out in a video a while ago. They've changed a little bit. I feel more confident in my Canadian men's national team. I put them 4th, and now I'm going to probably bump them up to 3rd. No Leah Miller, and that one's a little bit surprising to me, but what that tells me, guys, is we're more than likely going to play a 3-5-2, and that is not a surprise. We play the 3-5-2. We have all the personnel for it. Our keeper, obviously, in net. Our center backs, you could go Scott Kennedy on the left or Kamal Miller on the left. You could go Vittoria or Kennedy through the middle. You have Aleister Johnson on the right. You have your wing backs of probably Buchanan on the right, Davies on the left, and you also have Richie Larea who can play on either side. Your three-man midfield, which John Herdman loves to play. It could be Hutchinson, probably Eustaquio, and then K for the main three, and then Osorio could also go in there. And then up front, you have David and Larin. That's pretty much rights yourself. You have your extra depth there with Junior Hoylett, but it'd be hard for Hoylett to get in the starting 11 if you're asking me. But that also means that it's hard for Leah Miller. Miller's a winger. He's playing in Basel right now on a 4-2-3-1, playing over on the right-hand side. He's had some minutes. I think he's pretty much played in almost every game. Got a start as well, but doesn't really fit the way this Canadian men's national team is going with that 3-5-2. You could maybe, as we know, switch into a 4-4-2, but we still have the personality for it. The only switch is Aleister Johnson would go to right back. Davies would probably go up Buchanan. Then you'd have to drop one of your midfielders. So probably K, bring in Sam Adakubi at left back, and then you have your two strikers. So it's very interesting to see what he does here. But yeah, it's excellent to see Atiba Hutchinson back in. I'm really, really excited that he got the summer off at the Gold Cup, and now he's going to be ready to go for the octagonal. Man, Herdman loves Fraser. Why? That is a big surprise. I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. I wasn't surprised. I was expecting Fraser, but given his performance, yeah, it's a little surprising. We should have brought 26. We have 3 extras like other countries. Maybe there's a chance that we do bring in 3. I don't know. If anyone has any information on why if we're able to bring 3 more, because maybe we are able to add them to the list, because, yeah, 3 games coming up, you want as many players as you can possibly bring. I do agree with that. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's a chance we bring in 3 more. I'm not 100% sure. Canucks Hubs here says, surprise, no Arfield, kind of shady. I don't know, man. I don't know. My personal opinion is that Arfield is kind of put the writing on the wall. I don't think we should expect him. I think his national team, his career is done. It's a shame. He's done some good things for us when he committed from Scotland over to Canada, but it just doesn't look like he'll be in here. And you know what? That is still a good midfield. If we do the 3-man midfield, we have Hutch, we have Eustaquio, and then I'm fine with Marc-Anthony Kaye. He's on good form with Colorado. We also have Jonathan Osorio as a more attacking option. I have no issues whatsoever with that. But Canucks Hub is saying we should have gone with the 26-man team. OC says, I hope I didn't get timed out. Yeah, I spammed, a spammer account was going on, and I put OC in a timeout. Why didn't we bring Harry Patton instead of Fraser? That's a fair question, man. That's a fair question. I would have probably went with Patton. I mean, he's playing and playing better. But obviously, it's a little love there from Herdman with Fraser. It's the only thing I can really think of. Going back to the number of points that we think that we need out of this window, I'm saying 6. I think that's realistic, and David's agreeing with me. Which team does Daniel Henry play for? He plays in the South Korean League for the Bluebirds. That's who he plays for over there. Center back is so deep, tough decision. We need 6. I think we can get 7. I'm curious. Like I said, I'm curious to see how we put this team together for the 3 games. Do we go all out, try to get 6 points from Honduras, El Salvador at home? Do we play a rested team against the States? Do we go all out against all 3? I don't know, man. I don't know. Who does Canada play in their first 3 games? USA, El Salvador, and Honduras. Cavallini is the only surprise for me. Yeah, I am a little bit surprised as well with Cavallini. I didn't think that he'd come to this one. I thought the injury would have ruled him out, but it's good to see him there. Hoylett and Cavallini are obviously our other options up front for Larin and David. But I hope we get 9. I hope too as well. Hey Josh, who is Sam Adakubi? Adakubi is arguably a very good option for us at the left back side. He just got a nice move over from Norway to the Turkish league, and he's been starting, he's been playing, and he's been looking pretty good. So he's a left back for us. He'll be more than likely playing if we play in a back 4. If we play a 4-4-2, I'd assume Adakubi would be at the left back, Davies left mid, Buchanan right mid, Aleister Johnson right back. But if we go a 3-5-2, I don't see Adakubi starting because he's not going to start at left wing back. That's for Davies. And outside left center back will go to one of Kennedy if Vittoria's in the middle, or Miller if Kennedy's in the middle. Honduras is the first game, and that's going to be a close one. That's going to be a really close one. This is good to be an exciting window. It is, man. It absolutely is. A lot of people tuning in today. A lot of comments. If you're new around here, guys, be sure to drop a like on the stream. subscribe. And if you're a new subscriber, say hello in the chat and let me know what you think of our 23-man roster, because I'd say it's pretty much what we expected. A couple small things, but nothing too severe. I hope the Canadian men's national team can make the World Cup. Eustachio should get a bigger move to a bigger club, probably to Serie A. I would take any move for Eustachio at this point. He's in action today, guys. He's in action in 15 minutes. He's taken on Tottenham for the Europa Confederation. I don't even know what it's called anymore. the third tier Confederation League or whatever it is. The third tier in Europe. Pacos de Ferreira taking on Tottenham, and they got a 1-0 lead. But if Tottenham plays a solid team, it's gonna be troubles for Eustachio. What do you think? What do you think y'all's chances of landing Tomori are? This is a debate, guys, and if any of you guys want to put in your on a scale of 1 to 10, because I'm curious to see what the community thinks, because there is a debate of whether A, it's even a realistic possibility because of FIFA rules. Even if, say, Tomori wants to go, maybe it's not possible. There's also the fact that Tomori may not want to go. I don't know. I really don't know because of those two things. I think if we approach him the right way with Davies, Herdman, we say, listen, man, we can potentially offer you 1, if not 2 World Cups. He wouldn't be eligible to us until November 22nd of 2022. But I don't know. There's still the rumor that he's not even eligible. So I don't know what the new FIFA rulings. I'm gonna say probably like 30 to 40%, because that percentage just straight up could be 0 if he's not eligible. But we'll have to wait and see, because he would be massive to our back line. Him and Scott Kennedy would be there with Miller and even Aleister Johnson for the next decade. No one deserves a spot. You got to earn your spot. I wish every team luck in World Cup qualifiers. Much love, Dr. Negative. Really going against your name, but I like it. Brady's saying if 3 more could come in, Leah Miller, Anini, and ZBG, and that's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout. ZBG would be good because he could play on both wings as wing backs. Could be useful if we play in a back 4 as well. Miller, because he's been playing. Yeah, I like that. Why is Cavallini there? I don't know, man. Our striker pool is looking a little iffy. Akinola obviously went down. Cavallini coming back. I don't know what other options we would have had. Who do you guys have went for if Cavallini wasn't here? Because, I mean, Hoylett is another option, but he's not a pure striker. He's a winger, in my opinion. Canada can field a strong team, and that makes me happy here in the U.S. We can. I'm going to go through my best starting 11 for you guys towards the end of the stream and get your guys' opinions on it as well. Cavallini is back in training with the Whitecaps, so he could be ready to go. Yep, and in reality, he's going to be a bench player. It's not like he's going to start all 3 games, but it's Lairn, it's David. We know what our front 2 is going to look like. And Junior Hoylett obviously was in good form for us at the Gold Cup. He shows he can play in a front 2 as well. So Cavallini is going to find minutes hard to come by, in my opinion. France didn't call 26 because they're in mid-season and benching is not worth it when they can stay in shape with their club. Excellent point, which I didn't think of. I just thought, hey, be careful. There's 3 games in a crunch period of time. Get all the bodies you need. But that is fair. If you're going to bring someone just to ride on the bench, maybe it's smarter just to keep them in their current squad. Looking forward to watching this team be successful unless they're playing the U.S. men's national team. Got a lot of support from the U.S. for Canada, which is cool. Hopefully we can get a little rivalry that's a little bit more even than the past decade or so. Buchanan and Davies as wingbacks is solid. Formation to fit personnel, smart. If only Bellinger thought of that. Yeah, like I said, man, this team screams to me 3-5-2. There's no other way I think John Herdman is overly comfortable playing, but being able to switch in game, in my opinion, for the 3 games, he's going to start 3-5-2 no matter what, with the ability to adapt in game and go into a 4-4-2. What takes 1 substitution, and you could arguably get away with it regardless. You could drop Davies back to left back if you have to. But yeah, man, Buchanan on the right wing back, and of course our boy Davies on the left wing back is just dangerous with the 2 strikers up front. I feel like Rizzo would have been a good one instead of Frazier if he didn't get hurt and in form. Yeah, he would have been a good one. A lot of people I saw on the community were talking him up. And honestly, the number one thing I was seeing was people saying, I don't want to see Frazier, but I'm expecting to see Frazier. And I was similar. Can we name a different 23 to 26 in the next window, or is it locked in? Each window is different. Each window will have a different one. So when the next 3 matches come up, we can name a completely different team if we wanted to. As far as I know, though, if I'm guessing, I think the 23-man is locked in. Maybe they could call up someone, but if they only release 23, that's kind of all I'm expecting. I'm nervous to see how the players who've been absent for more than a year will be back in the side. I know, because when we saw the team come back together against the Cayman Islands, or no, against Bermuda. Is that who we played first? I think against Bermuda. It was surprising because, well, one, the competition was so inferior to us, with no disrespect to them. It's just as it is. We won 6-0. So we got to ease our way back in, and I liked our World Cup qualifier process right now because when we came back in, and this group of players who played in that Bermuda game, I don't think barely ever played together. We put our starting 11 together. We ran over Bermuda. We got to get a little bit more challenging as the group went on until we met up with Suriname, where we took them out. Then we moved on to Haiti, took them out in 2 games, and now we're well on our way. And it's exciting to see what this team could do. We got some competition in the Gold Cup as well. Player like small gems like Miller and Buchanan had huge Gold Cups, and I'm excited to see what Kamal Miller and Buchanan can do with a full healthy squad. Because I think there's a huge chance Buchanan will start, and there's an okay chance maybe Miller will start. We'll have to see. Canada should go all out if they want to prove that they are good. I agree, and I hope Herdman does go all out for all 3 games. And it's nice that the U.S. game is the last game, because we'll see, hopefully, start our best starting 11 for both and see how it goes. If Tomori comes, I'm sure Canada can make the World Cup. Tomori will be hungry because he got snubbed from England because of Prem tax. Yeah, as soon as he moved to Italy, I've told you guys many times, it's obvious. It's obvious that he's not going to have a future in England. But again, he may not even be eligible for Canada, so only time will tell. I haven't heard any whispers on it, so it makes me a little bit nervous that it's just not there. It's the UEFA Europa Conference League. Thank you, OC. I had a brain fart. But Eustachio is in it today, taking on Tottenham. So maybe a good performance. Maybe get him a move, because he needs to get out of Packers to Ferreira, man. He is too good. How many players has Tomori played for in the... How many players has Tomori played for? I'm assuming you meant games. He got capped once against Kosovo, I believe. Hi, Josh. As an American, I find the Canadian men's national team fascinating. Other than Tomori, what other Canadian dual nats are worth looking into? Daniel Jebsen, Marcelo Flores are the 2 biggest ones right now. Jebsen can play for England, and Flores can play for Mexico, and I believe also England. Jebsen would be huge. Plays for Sheffield United. Marcelo Flores is in the Arsenal Academy. Both of them would be massive because, one, we're taking Marcelo Flores potentially from Mexico, so similar to what the U.S. men's national team in Mexico do. We don't usually have those fights. And then Daniel Jebsen is just going to be a baller. I mean, he's being linked to teams like Everton right now, which shows the kind of quality he is. I would relish having him in this team, but he's going to be interested in England. That's a fact. So we're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, let me know if anyone else has any dual nats that they want to take a look at, because there are some other options as well that hopefully will come on, because this Canadian men's national team is interested, not for a couple of reasons. One, I mean, they made it to the octagonal, shows that they're on the rise. They had a good Gold Cup performance. They have players who have won Champions League, have won Ligue 1s, done dangerous things in Turkey. They got a little unbalanced from the back line to the front, but it is a fascinating team. And on top of that, they have a chance of qualifying for this upcoming World Cup and are a lock for the 2026. Canucks Hub says 10% in my opinion, and that may be more realistic. The conversation's been very quiet. The biggest thing is he eligible? Does he want to make the switch? And I guess only time will tell. If I was Tomori, I'd rather play a bigger role for Canada than barely get any time playing with England. It's a good debate, man. It is. Because for one thing, when he moved over to Syria, I feel like that solidified his England career. There is a Premier League bias. They are so proud of the Premier League. They want their best players playing over there. There are a few exceptions, of course, Sancho and Trippier, but Sancho was heading back to England. Trippier might even head back to England. And the fact that he got snubbed for not only these upcoming World Cup qualifiers, but for the Euros, Tomori's future looks pretty much done with England. So yeah, why not come and maybe play in 2 World Cups for Canada? If, of course, it's even a possibility. How do you think we will do once Davies comes back? I'm gunning for third, man. I want to avoid the interconfederational playoffs. I want third, and I think that's the team. It should be the team's goal. Got a lot of comments, guys. I enjoy having you guys on here. Be sure to drop a like if you're just tuning in, and subscribe if you're new to our beautiful community. Coming up with the World Cup qualifier games, 3 in a week, man. It's gonna be fun. Richie Needy over Cavallini. He's playing forward in a 3-5-2 over in Russia. Well, then that would have made sense. He's kind of come out of nowhere. I haven't personally been able to watch him, but I have. I mean, playing over in Russia is a very interesting career move for Canadians. So yeah, I mean, I rate it. I would probably have picked him over Cavallini due to the fact that Cavallini isn't on form and the fact that he's coming back from injury. Buchanan is underrated. He is, man, but he did just get a big old move over to Belgium, which is nice for him. Unfortunately, if you guys saw the Champions League group stage draw today, Buchanan probably won't be playing any European football. Club Brugge got to take on PSG, Manchester City, and RB Leipzig. So more than likely, when Buchanan joins up with them in January, they will not be back in Europe. I want Miller, Jebsen, and that's it. That'd have been nice. I would be interested in Recchi and he'd have been an interesting one. I would have liked to see him get a chance, but Liam Fraser is Canada's Sebastian Lletget. That is a perfect comparison, my man. That's a perfect comparison. Wheeler tweeted that Arfield exclusion was a Canadian men's national team decision, and he is not available / willing for, and that he is available for and willing for future windows. That is very interesting. Gareth Wheeler putting a tweet up that Arfield is potentially willing and available. It makes me very surprised, though, as to why he wasn't included here. So what is going on behind the scenes that we don't know about? I don't know if he was available and willing to come for this window, unless that was predetermined that he wasn't coming. I don't know. It's still a little shady. That's a good word that Brady used earlier. I'm not going to believe Arfield's going to have a Canadian men's national team future until I see it. But I like Scotty. I hope he comes back. So I'm gonna hope that Wheeler's right. How should Canada play these games? Rotation, best 11. Oh man, it's a good debate. It's a good debate. This is what I would say. Considering, I think it works in our advantage. Considering that we're at home on Thursday, we're away on Sunday, and we're at home on Tuesday, I believe, or Wednesday, one of the two. I would obviously go all out in the first game. That U.S. game's the one that's iffy, but in total honesty, I think we need to go out in all three, pretty much. For example, I mean, the keeper doesn't matter. Start him for all three. Buchanan can start maybe 2-3 games. You also have Richie Larea who can start in one of the games. For the center backs, Aleister Johnson will probably start all 3 games at that outside right center back. Victoria will probably play 2 or 3. And then you'll have Kennedy, who probably will play all 3. And then you also have Kamal Miller, who can jump in. Davies should play all 3. Our 3 midfields have depth as well. Eustachio probably will play all 3. Hutch will definitely only play at max 2. Then you have a split. You can bring in Osorio for a couple matches. You can bring in Kay for a couple matches. And then up front, hopefully Laren and David start all 3. But if you're looking to rest one, Hoylett can definitely come in and do a role as well. So there is some depth, which is really good to see. You also have Daniel Henry at the back as well if you are desperate. But if you're playing in a back 3, you cannot afford to not start Aleister Johnson. So if you go to a 4-4-2, maybe things could change up and you get Henry in. We'll have to see. Eustachio was great for the Gold Cup. He was, man. Deserves a move. Josh, we gotta all up the Canadian boys and go watch the qualifiers. It'd be nice. More than likely, I'll be doing watch-alongs. We'll have to see where we go. Honduras Football TV says, see you guys soon. That's a matchup I'm really intrigued to see because I do rate Honduras. They are going to compete. They are going to be tough. And it's going to be a real showing on the night we take them on to see exactly where this team is heading. They're what we need to beat. If Canada really wants to go for a top 3, we need to be at home and we need to beat Honduras. And if not, I think it opens it up a little bit more. Looking forward to see you guys on Sunday. Any chance you guys have fitness issues since you use a lot of the same players in the Gold Cup? I don't think so, in my opinion. We do have a lot of players coming back. So, again, let's just take a quick look. Borjan will be new from the Gold Cup. Buchanan, obviously, was at the Gold Cup. Excellent Gold Cup. So that's one player. Scott Kennedy is new. Victoria was there. So, I mean, there is some depth issues potentially there. We have Aleister Johnson. Davies is new. Hutch is new. We do have the other midfield three, which is where I guess the tired legs may come from between Eustachio, especially because Eustachio has games like today. So, I mean, he may need a rest as well, but we have Osorio in there. We have Frazier, who I hope doesn't really start. We also have Kay, and then we have David, who's new. Laren only played a couple games because of the injury. So yeah, I mean, there is that debate, but I don't think fatigue should be something we need to worry about. Seems like all 23 players, when the risk of COVID hitting teams is a mistake. Also with the game in the southern U.S., the numbers are surging. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how COVID affects this. I hope the Canadian national team doesn't rest players against us. Thoughts? I hope they don't either. But I can tell you, for example, no way Hutch starts all three. I'm assuming Hutch will probably only play 2 games and will be rested for sure for 1. So more than likely, probably Kay, Osorio, maybe Eustachio will be the starters against the States in the middle. That's my guess. I could be wrong. Maybe Hutch gets rested against Honduras. I think Vitoria will get rested for a game. So either Henry plays in the back 3 or you put Kennedy in there with Miller. There's a chance Richie Larea starts over Buchanan. Potentially Davies. We're going to have to see. But I'm assuming it'll be a mix-up for one of the games. Not a full rotation, but a few players will definitely be rested. One cap means Tomori is eligible because you can play a minimum of 3 matches before you're ineligible to represent a country. Manure got capped by Spain twice. Yes, that is true, OC. However, there's a layer to that. One of the things is you weren't allowed to play more than 3 matches, which Tomori played 1. But the other thing around that is there's an age restriction. And I believe whether the age restriction, for example, let's say it's 21. I don't remember if it's you have to be under or you have to be over. Tomori fell within the bad one. So whatever it meant that he can't represent Canada so that's the danger. There was 2 tiers. The 3 matches and being under or over a certain age of 21. And Tomori did not play the 3, but he failed the other one. So that's why the rumors are that he's not even eligible. But FIFA was changing the rules, so we're going to have to see. Has Tomori played any games for England? If so, then we can't play for Canada. It's a new rule, I think. He got cap-tied in a Nations League game against Kosovo. However, with the new rule change, because he only played once, he is eligible. But on top of that, the other rule to it says that he has to be under a certain age, which he was. So I don't know. That's why I said, man, we're going to have to wait and see. Are they actually a lock in 26? Yes, they're a host. Luis Diaz from Sporting is also a big dual nat. That is very true, James. That is very true. Good shout. A lot of comments coming in today, guys. Really enjoyed you guys tuning in. Be sure to drop a like. Got a lot more to go in here. All 3 hosts gets in. They do. US, Canada, Mexico. Thoughts on points you think that the Canadian national team get during the octagonal? Oh, man, I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know. I don't want to just say a number out loud. I'd say on average, they should pick up 6 points for each 3 matches. So 6 times whatever. That's what I think they'll probably end up getting. Because each round of 3, they should pick up hopefully 6-ish to 7 points. And on an average. Where do you think that we're going to finish in the octagonal? I think that we'll finish second only behind the US. I love the positivity. I'm not sweating. I'm not sleeping on Mexico. I'm not sleeping on any of these nations except for maybe Jamaica. So sorry, Jamaicans, but I'm saying hopefully third. Any thoughts on El Tri after your Gold Cup match? I think they made us a lot less. They made themselves look a lot less scary. What do you Canadians think, man? What was your reaction after we arguably deserved to move on to the Gold Cup final against Mexico, man? I think it made them look a lot less scary. Their team isn't going to be that much stronger when they play us. Ours is. But again, they're still Mexico. You cannot take that for granted. They are going to be tough no matter what. So we're going to have to wait and see. Buchanan is a very good player. He is. Any score predictions for the games in September? Oh, man. It depends because I don't know what lineup we're going to put out. I'm going to say like 3-1 against El Salvador, 1-0 against Honduras. U.S. game's going to be hard. I mean, I'd be happy with a 1-1. I think it'll probably more than likely be like a 2-0 game for the U.S. because I don't know. I'm not saying that. It's going to depend on how Canada's going to prioritize these games. But I'm expecting 6 to 7 points, and I'm hoping we can get that. Kava dropped since he joined the Whitecaps, and I'm a Whitecaps fan. Very cool, Luke. I was supposed to work for the Vancouver Whitecaps Academy here in Ontario, so I do got some love for the Whitecaps, and I agree with you. Cavallini has been a shadow of himself since going to Vancouver. However, he's always usually performed for Canada. Is the main weakness still the back line? Yes, and I don't think anybody can argue that. However, Victoria, Johnston, and Kennedy makes me feel a lot more confident because Scott Kennedy is on some form right now for his club. They're top of the Bundesliga too, which is super impressive and super surprising. I don't know why, but I feel Mexico isn't going to qualify for World Cup. That would be something catastrophic. I don't know if I'd go that far. Arfield thinks he's nuts, bro. Why does he keep skipping on a chance like this? I don't know. That's why I said I don't want to speak too much of Arfield. My assumption, honestly, before Wheeler's tweet was that he's just done with the national team. But maybe not. Maybe not. Only time will tell. But I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to sleep on him and expect him to join us until I actually see it. Also, a big shout out to Forge. Picking up a big fat 4-0 win yesterday, baby. If Canada wants first or second, then they shouldn't stop them. U.S. and Mexico both need to earn their spots too. Just because the powerhouses doesn't mean that they have an automatic spot. Make it hard. And yeah, U.S. men's national team fans know that all too closely. They missed out on World Cup qualifiers against Panama. So I think the U.S. are not sleeping on this. I mean, they rested their team in the Gold Cup and still won it. U.S. know how important this is. Mexico always does. They are going to be competitors. I think Canadian soccer is on the rise with the new system in the Canadian Championship. I agree, man. I'm proud to be a part of it. I think the Soccer Canada is absolutely on the rise. Not only from the development we're doing with the CPL to the grassroots, on top of the fact that have a competitive national team for the first time since I've been alive, sort of. Since I started watching football, which is, I had to be like 8 to 10 when I actually started watching them. Watching Dwayne De Rosario pick up a single point in a Gold Cup performance. We've come a long way. I know that this year is the future, but think about all the games between Canada, Mexico, and U.S. to prepare for 2026. It's a good time, man. It's a good time to get into soccer in this country. It's the main reason I do this here on the channel. I want to help the sport grow in this country. I appreciate all the support you guys have shown on the channel so far, and I'm itching for World Cup qualifiers to start, man. Like I said, since I've been alive, Canadian soccer fans have not experienced this, and it's going to be interesting. And we got a lot of love, too, from our U.S. fans. They want to see us be successful. I think it's good for all CONCACAF nations to make that step. I mean, like them or love them, Jamaica is making that step. The amount of dual nationals that they're trying to recruit, it's just going to make this competition all that more competitive. Hardman may not trust Arfield's continuous availability for Canada. From Herdman's comments regarding Akinola, I believe he expects 110% commitment from players, staff, management, deals within. Very good comment. Honestly, very good comment, and I respect that because it's hard to be a national team coach. You're not someone who gets to work week in, week out with your players. What you have is a small window of time to find a style of football that works for you. If you know how important Scott Arfield would be to your midfield if he plays, but it's hard for John Herdman to be like, okay, well, I just spent all last couple windows getting him prepared, getting him fit in this team, and now he's telling me he's not interested. So that is a very good comment and probably the most true thing I've read today. Herdman probably questions whether Arfield's committed. And he said, listen, I'm not going to call you up maybe for this window. Figure out your future because I will integrate you in because you deserve to be in. You're good enough to be in this Canadian men's national team. However, you need to show up each and every window so we can build something because we're going for something special. And if you're not willing to commit each and every window when I call upon you, then I'm no longer going to do it. So that's a really good shout, man. Shout out to you because that's a fair assessment of the situation. If Canada declares not to go for it against the U.S., do you tell guys who are coming off injuries, David Davies, to just chill in Toronto for a few days? Mark, a good question. I don't know, and that's the thing I'm expecting. I'm not expecting a wholesale change. I'm expecting, for example, Hutch to start the first game, maybe not start the second. Or Hutch play both and take off the third game. Same could be said for Davies, but only time will tell, man. I think no matter what, they're going to come to the game. I think Canada qualifies second going to Qatar 2022. I like it, my man. Much love, much love. Jay, if Canada decides, rather than travel to Nashville. Yeah, I think they're going to travel no matter what. Cavallini is injured. I know that is a big surprise. I wasn't expecting him to be in the starting this 23-man squad. He's probably not going to play. If anything, he'll come on in like the 70th, which is just a little surprising. MLS players won't be fatigued for playing over the summer. Good shout out, Wes, and I agree with that. Listen, I'm just 14. I'm in an academy awaiting an official club trials. I wouldn't mind moving to Canada, playing for Pacific FC, declaring for Canada, because Canada over India. OC, my man. Ballsy, man. You can come over to Canada. I'd like to meet you. You're going to move to a beautiful part of Canada if you head over to the West Coast. Rest Hutch against El Salvador, in my opinion. See, Brady, if I'm being completely honest, I would assume that Hutch is going to be rested against Honduras or U.S. Probably U.S. But I could be wrong. Who knows? I feel like Hutch will play against El Salvador, but again, that's just my opinion. There is arguments for all three. I don't know about Nashville, but cities in general have been pretty good rates here. It's fair. How many points do you see us coming from our first 3 games? 6 should be at a minimum. That should be our goal, and that would be potentially realistic. Remember, this is the future. Congratulations, Canada, for making it to the World Cups. It's what we're hoping, man. It's what we're hoping. More speculation from me. Herdman maybe calling up Arfield for later dates while maintaining good relationship with Rangers Gerard. Could be as well. It could be. No, you twisted your point, but yes. I mean, there are 2 sides of the coin. I respect it. But he's 23. The rule is under 21. Yes, but I believe and that's the gray area. Is it from where he is now, or is it from when he played his match? Because when he played his match, he was under 21. And that's exactly where the gray area comes in. So if the rule is that right now he has to be over 21, he's 23, he's set. If the rule is from when he played his competitive match for England, was he over 21? No, he was 20, I believe. So who knows, man? Who knows? I have Canada being 2nd or 3rd in the octagonal. I like it. I put my octagonal predictions up a long time ago. I put Canada 4th. I got chirped by a lot of the Honduran fans. But I feel confident, man. I feel confident. I should have put him up there in 3rd. Mexico is beatable. US showed it a couple times. Yeah, I mean, we almost beat them, and then the States did beat them. I'm seeing the rules, and it says that you have to play 3 matches before you become 21, which Tomori did not do. Then you can't represent that country. So Tomori is a little bit in that gray zone. Yep. And that is what we're all waiting to see. I don't think there's any stress on it right now because we know no matter what, it had to be November 22nd, 2022. Got some predictions. US, Mexico, Canada, Jamaica. Depending on who Jamaica can actually call up, I'd arguably say Honduras has got a really good shot as well. I think that we can get a point from Mexico at home. I think so too. Also, thanks for doing this. It's fun. I'm glad, guys. If you guys do enjoy this stream, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the community as well if you're new here, and get ready, man, because next week we're going to have a lot of Canadian men's national team content, and I know my boy Brady here is going to love it. MLS All-Stars versus CPL All-Stars. That'd be fun. It'd be fun. It wouldn't be fair, but it'd be fun. I'm a U.S. fan, but I think y'all will give us trouble because of Davies versus Dest is not good for the U.S. It's fair. You could also maybe move Dest over to the left, but then again, I don't know if you'd start Cannon. I haven't even looked at your guys' team yet today, so I'll have to go over and do that. Are Mexico's games closed to fans? They just announced it. I think they got a 1-game suspension, so I don't think it's going to affect Canada when we go there. But I don't remember. I think I saw a tweet from Wheeler on it. I could see Canada finishing ahead of LG. I'm hoping, man. As a Canadian living in the States, I'm excited to see Canada play in the U.S. and Nashville. Yes, if any of you guys end up going to the game in Nashville, if any of you guys end up going to the game in BMO Field, we'll be live here doing the watch-along. If you want to follow us on Twitter, TV_JJD, and you want to send us pictures, videos, we'll toss them up on screen for beforehand or even maybe after. So it'd be pretty cool because I would love to be at both, but we have to do the watch-alongs here. Maybe I'll sneak off for 1 game, but yeah, I'd love to get your guys tossing up the some pictures and stuff to get an atmosphere of what BMO Field's looking like. And same as over in Nashville. The only first Mexico game won't have fans. Ken says we can't beat Canada if we don't nullify or at least contain limit Davies Dest, for all his faults, is the only talent we have on defense, and we need to keep him. He's not totally useless defending. Fair, harsh, but fair words on Dest. And yeah, the Canada can be a wild card because of just pure individual talent. I'm excited to see what Davies is going to do in these type of matches, man. He's so passionate. He loves playing for Canada. And to have this team now with Buchanan, with Eustachio, with Laren, with Davies, and informed Scott Kennedy, who is important for our back four or back three. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. Hutch as well, our main man there. CONCACAF is on the rise. Absolutely it is. I really want a U.S. men's national team versus Canadian men's national team rivalry. And you know what? I think that 2-0 win we had over you guys started it a little bit. I do still think you guys think you're better than us, and you have every right. You have a right to think that you're better than everyone in the CONCACAF right now after what you guys did in Gold Cup on top of the Nations League. But I think the fact that we're going to be sneaking around you guys for a little bit, and we are on the rise, I think that rivalry will hopefully spark up a little bit. But, I mean, the rivalry between you guys and Mexico is also very fierce. Rise to the level. It'd be tough to rise to the level of the U.S. and Mexico, but I do think it's going to be on the rise. Predictions, we got U.S., Canada winning 2-1, ballsy prediction. Or you got U.S. 1, Canada 2, El Salvador, Mexico. El Salvador and Mexico is separate on goal difference. Wow, that is a ballsy prediction. I have tickets to the game versus Honduras, can't wait. I'm jealous, my man. Big L coming for the rude Canadians. Filippo. What happened to Arfield? He did not, we don't know 100% for this window, I don't think. He either didn't get invited by Herdman or didn't make himself available. We think it came down to Herdman, but apparently he is willing and available to come up for future windows. So only time will tell. Only time will tell with him, man. Why didn't they bring 28? They were allowed, I think, max 26, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they went against it. Maybe they just, like, there was a point put out earlier that some players just probably wouldn't play. They wanted to put them on the bench, but yeah, with 3 games like this, I'm a little surprised they didn't bring all 26. Where's Pedro Parker? Also, the game at Mexico is at half capacity. Pedro Parker's right there. Honduras is 4th. I could see Honduras competing for the 4th spot, absolutely. No, Cannon, Yedelin. Oh yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, Yedelin can start on the right, and Des will maybe start on the left, but that just means Des has to go up against Buchanan, which, depending on how you guys line up, if you line up in a 4-3-3, and we line up in a 3-5-2, I like having a couple players go against it, because I think Buchanan and Davies would have some fun running against potentially Des and Yedelin. Mexico was suspended for 2 games, so Canada will get an empty stadium. Interesting. Check the squad from Tactical and teach them how to pronounce Borussia Mönchengladbach. I got that in there. The Scots can say it well. No Richards either. Yes, I think I saw that on Twitter. No Hoppy as well. That's a little surprising. Especially for Hoppy. Our U.S. men's national team roster has 3 players we're nervous about. Who are the 3? Who are the 3 players the U.S. men's national team fans are worried about? Form is no Richards is a crime. Yeah. I might just green shot BMO Field because in India we're red listed and I can't come. U.S. is going to match Yedelin with Davies. Yep. So you're saying Yedelin will be on the right, Davies on the left. Speed for speed. Buchanan's effing quick too. He'll have to go up against Des then. I'm going to the Nashville game. Very jealous, Wes. We'll miss you in the watch along, though. Yedelin is going to get megged and turned inside out. He's not skilled enough to handle Davies, bro. Don't tell me that. Ken. Harsh, but fair. U.S. versus Canada soccer rivalry to match hockey, please. Yeah, there's nothing more intense than a Canada-U.S. rivalry. I love it. Also Canada-Russia, but, other reasons. Arfield hasn't looked good for Rangers so far this year. From what it's worth, maybe if his form improves the next window. It's fair, but again, back to Liam Fraser, going back to Cavallini. I know different positions, but you get my point. A couple players were in this squad, and I don't think anyone will argue that Arfield over Liam Fraser. But all right, I'm going to give you guys my predicted starting 11 for the first match. And let me know if you guys agree, and then let me know what you guys think. You said line prediction versus Honduras, which is interesting. I can't predict both. For all three, just so you guys know, I think all three starting 11s will be different. But I'm gonna give you my preferred / kind of what I think one of them will look like. So I think we'll play the 3-5-2. Borjan will be in net. Right wing back will be Buchanan, but I could actually see it being Richie Larea for one of the games. I do only think Buchanan will probably start 2 of 3. But I'm going to say Buchanan because he's my boy. Right wing back. Outside right center back, Aleister Johnson. Central center back, Steven Vittoria. Outside left center back, Scott Kennedy. Left wing back, Alphonso Davies. 3-man midfield, it's interesting. It'll be Hutch and Eustachio for sure. And then I think Herdman trusts Osorio more than Kay, so I'm going to say Osorio. And then our 2 strikers, David and Laren. Very tasty little lineup there. Do-ho. Tax said that we might play a back 3 again. Well, Greg was experimenting, and I think a back 3 for the U.S. would show up a lot better against Canada. I think it'd be stupid if U.S. lined up in a 4-3-3 against our 3-5-2. More than likely, it'll be a back 3 for both, and then it'll depend on who can adapt in game more. Canada have the ability to go to a 4-4-2, and they may end up trying to do that. They did it towards the end of that U.S. game where Buchanan was all over the pitch, but we'll have to see. Davies will be bodied, no double, no one is expected to match him 1v1. Probably going to be a 3-4-2-1 in our game. I can see that. We also have Bello for the left, but I don't know how much Bellhutcher will trust him. Yeah, I would assume, and again, I'm coming from a Canadian, but I'd assume then if Yedelin's going to play on the right, Dest has to play on the left. You could bench Yedelin, but I don't think Bello's a step up, so you'd play Dest on the right, and you'd play Bello on the left. My assumption is that Dest plays on the left. Dest has played on the left more than he's played on the right for the U.S., so again, just my assumption is Dest will be on the left and Yedelin will be on the right. And I feel comfortable matching David and Buchanan against both of them, to be honest. Oh, yes, I did see this. Tim Ream, Roldan, and Leggett. Yeah, Leggett, though, is not a surprise. Roldan and Tim Ream's definitely a surprise. But, I mean, I don't know. I would be surprised, honestly. Again, coming from a Canadian, but I'd be surprised if Leggett wasn't in there. Just, Oops, I actually sent random words. Besides Canada and Honduras and Jamaica, who do you think could sneak into the World Cup? Honestly, bold from me, US, Mexico, Canada, Honduras is kind of where I'm leaning towards right now. Don't have a lot of faith in Jamaicans. But yeah, all have agreed on the random 3. Mexico versus Jamaica score prediction. I'm going to say 2-0 Mexico. I just skipped a bunch. My bad. Probably in the winter games because BC Place is the only stadium with a roof. That is actually very true. Very, very true. I'm still trying to see if I can go to the game on the 8th. Well, again, if any of you guys do go to any of the games, man, feel free to send me pictures on Twitter. Go over to Twitter, give me a follow, TV_JJD, and send in pictures, send in videos, and I'll pop them up when we do our watch-alongs. I think it'd be very cool for some of the viewers to see you guys actually there, because hopefully BMO will be bumping. Do you know if Canada has a qualifier at BC Place? I don't. I do not know that. How funny would it be if Josh Sargent scored against you guys? For those of you guys who don't know, a little context, I have a bet with Yeet Yeet. The bet is that Josh Sargent will not score more than 5 Premier League goals. So yes, he did just score 2 goals in the Carabao Cup. They don't count. Our bet was no more than 5 Premier League goals for Josh Sargent, and I honestly feel confident about it. I don't think Josh Sargent will score more than 5 goals in the Premier League. But Yeet Yeet says he does. So 5 and under, I win. 6 and over, Yeet Yeet wins. So, I don't know. I feel confident. But yes, it would be a slap in the face, and those kind of things always happen to me. So if Josh Sargent scores against me, I'm going to hear about it from Yeet Yeet. Why 23 over 26? We don't know. The only thing that we could assume is that they chose not to bring players just to sit on the bench. I don't know. Replace Ream with Richards. I'd agree with that. Leggett for Green. It's fair. And I agree. I mean, he's playing in the Bundesliga. It's a higher level. I agree. I would have been surprised, though, like I said, from my perspective, if Leggett got dropped. But we need Roldan. Who else are we going to make sure? I mean, I don't know. I'm surprised Hoppy's not in there. I thought he deserved it. He could play as a winger. He could play as a striker, apparently. But also, who knows what the transfer is going on. Maybe Hoppy's trying to push for a move. That would be a big assumption from me as to why he's not there. I don't think that we'll have to play Des on the left because he doesn't enjoy it, and he's one of our brightest players. So if you guys assume he's going to go on the right then, in a back, he'd probably like playing in a wing back role. You guys played a back three, Dest as right wing back. Is Robinson there? Who would play as your left wing back? Anton Robinson would be a great option if he's there. I haven't looked at the squad list yet, though. Canada's a triple threat. Here's why. We have speed, and we're smart. Luke, you're missing 1 point, but I agree. I agree. The thing I like about Canada is, yes, we have rapid speed. Davies, Buchanan. David's pretty quick as well. Laren's relatively quick, but it's the wing play that's going to be very important for us. We are smart. I think Hutch and Eustachio playing together have very high footballing IQs. I'm going to really enjoy watching him. I thought Kamal Miller had deserved a big shout for having a smart football IQ. The thing that is going to be interesting that to also add is that we can be flexible. I know Herdman loves his 3-5-2. We have two great strikers with Laren and David, and we have two amazing wingbacks in Davies and Buchanan. It makes sense. However, we can adapt to a 4-4-2, even maybe a 4-3-3, which makes us a little versatile as well. Jamaica has a very good squad, but they need to be more organized. Online school has broken me. I agree with that statement, 100%. I think Anton Robinson plays left back and Des right back against Canada. Robinson has been in excellent form for Fulham. Okay, yes, then I take that back. I rate Robinson a lot higher than I rate Yedelin, in my opinion. I would start Des on the right and Robinson on the left in a back three against Canada. If I'm looking at the U.S., how to match up against us, I'm doing it like that. Jamaica is going to get screwed with the English club stopping their players from going. They are. They're going to get riddled because they've been recruiting nothing but English players. Which does nothing but good things for us and potentially Honduras. Ream was injured and pulled out of the last Fulham game. His inclusion over Richards is shocking. Fair. Why don't you have faith in Jamaica? I don't have faith in Jamaica given the fact that there's been a lot of rumors about dual nationals that they were going to bring in. They failed to bring in the ones that they were talking about. I wasn't overly confident with their performance at the Gold Cup, in my opinion. And the biggest thing is what we just talked about. Who knows who's going to come? Who knows if England is going to screw them over or not? So every point matters. Every game matters. And Jamaica is going to be real interesting considering that a lot of their players that they're trying to get from dual nationals are English in England. Sargent will take Pookie's spot and scored 12 this year, but the Bremen tag alone won't pass to him. Oh, you're on Yeet side. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think he's going to score more than 5. That was my bold claim. That's why Tactical Manager called me a rude Canadian. I know, I'm sorry. I don't want to come off as rude. I was so happy when I found you because for 3 years I was looking for Canadian soccer news talk. Well, I'm glad, man. If anyone here is in the stream and is new to the channel and you want to subscribe and join our community, it's always appreciated. We're going to be doing some fun work coming up with Tactical Manager and Pete from 11 Yanks. I'm looking really much forward to talking with him. I've only been able to talk to Pete briefly on one of Tactical's stream, and I really enjoyed listening to Pete. I think he's a very knowledgeable guy, along with Filippo. So, I don't know. I think it's really fun. I really enjoy talking with these guys. You guys are fun. I see there's a lot of U.S. Men's National Team fans that are in the chat today. Maybe some came from Tact. Maybe some of you guys are Dortmund fans and, Geo. I don't know. But I really enjoy doing these streams, and if you guys enjoy them as well, be sure to drop a like on the stream today. Join our community. But, Luke, I appreciate hearing that, my man. It is. It's fun talking about your national team. And like you, Luke, I kept my opinions to myself for a very long time. Until we started the channel. And Tactical, you guys can give him a W. Because he's the one who convinced me to start covering the Canadian national team. And I've really enjoyed every second of it. Hoppy had a stomach bug. And then he just resumed training to his manager of his club. Bellholder just said to stay him there. Do you think there's any chance that Hoppy's going to move on this window? Pulisic has COVID, and they brought him. I wonder if he'll even play. That's interesting as well. That'd be nice if he doesn't play the Canada game. But I feel like that's a game that they would try to start him at. Kamal Miller is actually pretty good. I was impressed with the Gold Cup performances. Yeah, if there was 3 players to me in the Gold Cup that stood out hands down for me personally, not counting Laren because we expect that from Laren and then he got injured. Tajon Buchanan obviously took his game to another level. Eustachio was brilliant. And Kamal Miller, for me, and that gives us the option to play Kennedy through the middle and have Kamal Miller on the left. And it's the reason why Derek Cornelius is not going to come near the starting 11/23-man squad anytime soon. Having Davies and Cavallini on the roster is a huge plus for both players were seen as doubtful last month. Yep, it's huge for Davies, clearly. I'm not that sold on Cavallini. I do like that Cavallini always produces for the Canadian men's national team. Excellent goal-scoring record. However, he's coming back from injury. He probably won't start a match, and he may come off for like the last 20 of a couple games. But we'll see. Hoppy, full stop. I agree with that. I'm a big fan of Hoppy. Why isn't Corbiano there? He hasn't played a single minute for Sheffield United Wednesday yet. There was a couple reasons as to why, but yeah, it was not a surprise Corbiano wasn't there. We also don't play with wingers, and he's found even game time for Canada come hard by. We should have brought Hebert. Sorry, I don't know how to spell his name. He brings intensity and some experience. There's a big split in the community. Some people agree. I mean, I wouldn't have cared if we brought him over Fraser Campbell, but a lot. I don't know. I don't think he's fondly looked over by the Canadian national team community, and I can see maybe why he hasn't. But I mean, the fact that we brought Liam Fraser makes it a possibility. Everyone watching this, leave a like. I appreciate it, Brady. Yeah, benching him the first game seems likely. Hit the like button. We got some love coming on here. Do you think Raul Jimenez potentially absence of the World Cup qualifiers will affect Mexico? I mean, he's one of the best players in CONCACAF. His presence changes the way the Mexican team plays. However, they kind of expected it. They knew with that injury, they didn't know what kind of Raul Jimenez they're going to get coming back. It's not like it's going to be the same Raul Jimenez beforehand. He went through a serious injury. That's why they went out and actively went to switch over Funes Mori. So I think he will eventually play for Mexico. I don't know exactly how they're going to integrate him back into the team, but for right now, it seems like Funes Mori will be the starter. I think everyone knows Sterling was born in Jamaica. I know he can't play for Jamaica because he's played too many games for England. But what do you think would happen if they joined? I'm sure there's something on Google somewhere. Oh, I didn't know that. There's a cool comment coming up. I didn't know that. Or I did know that. If you look at the dual nationalities of the English men's national team, a lot of them come from Jamaica. If you Google what would a Jamaican team look like if everyone who was eligible to play for them did, they would be stacked. They'd basically look like England. This is cool. I didn't know this. Pete is awesome, super knowledgeable, and an LA actor. I did not know that he's an actor. That is cool, man. That is very cool. You and Tactical Manager are big inspirations. I appreciate that, my man. Very kind words. Very kind words. That's a rare Tactical Manager W. Just kidding. Yeah, he's got his rude Canadians in there, but no, he was, man. I really like Filippo. He plays the narrative well to bug some of the Canadians, but he's a genuinely an awesome guy to talk with. He's very knowledgeable as well. He works in soccer, works for Orlando. I know Pete's got a cool background as well. I don't know exactly what it is in detail. I think he was in Thailand coaching. Apparently he's an actor. I'm going to mention that to him. My background comes from the Vancouver Whitecaps Academy. Had a job I was supposed to do there. COVID ruined that. I played college, varsity up until my last year of college. Played competitive my whole life. Shoulder injuries, dislocated my shoulder 3 times, kind of pulled me out of the game a little bit. And then I'm trying to do everything I can to get into the industry, which is why we created the channel, man. And like I said, I've enjoyed a lot of it, and you guys make it a lot of fun. Bell Hunter snubbed Breck Shea again. Ridiculous. Fun fact, I watched Breck Shea score. One of my first ever TFC games was against Dallas. Toronto FC lost to Dallas 1-0, and Breck Shea scored a pelter of a goal. So, I thought that would make maybe you laugh. Pulisic got it a long time ago. Probably will be rested against El Salvador, fresh for Canada. That's what I'd expect too. Didn't Miller play on Liverpool? Because in FIFA 20 he had them. He did. He was a Liverpool player, never actually played for them. He was on loan at Charlotte last year, and now he got sold to Basel in the Swiss League. So I keep an eye on them. But it's been cool. He's been playing a good chunk of minutes. He's been coming off the bench, and he got a start as well. But we'll see. Soccer Canada should totally reach out for you for some type of partnership. Your Gold Cup and Olympics coverage was much watched. I appreciate that, my man. I'll let you guys... There's something going on at the table. Not specifically with Soccer Canada, but it's why I do it. I would love to have a career somewhere in there. Kept my opinions to myself, like I said, for a long time. But it's cool. The hype around this Canadian men's national team is different than what it was growing up. Like I said, and this is not one word of a lie. 10-ish years old, watching a Gold Cup, Canada went 0 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. I think we scored 1 goal in the tournament. I think it was a penalty shot from Dwayne De Rosario. I was satisfied that we picked up a point. That is how hard, that is how hard and how far we've came. What do you think about the source? Very quick rise of attacking talent in the US and Canada. Do you think that MLS plays a role? MLS absolutely plays a role. It absolutely plays a role. A lot of the talent, look where Davies came from, man. He was a Vancouver Whitecaps Academy product through and through. The Vancouver Whitecaps Academy has come up with some incredible talent. It's why I was so proud when I got my gig working for at their London Academy. Because if you look at some of the names who've come through Vancouver, it's incredible. It really is. And then, of course, the U.S. There's a ton of players that come through the U.S. as well, man. The MLS deserves a huge amount of credit. And we have to be proud to watch these players leave the MLS to go on to bigger and brighter things. Because Davies won a Champions League. It's incredible to see where he came from. And some U.S. players will be going a long way as well who came from the MLS. Where's Leah Miller? For me, he was a surprising snub. Getting minutes for Basel, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, he got left at home. We should all thank Andy Robinson for Davies, because when Davies was at the Whitecaps, he didn't over or underplay him. Yeah, I agree with that. And made sure that he didn't leave too soon. Left at the right time. Pete has an IMDb page, but it's under a persona. Okay, very cool. Hello, my man. Hope you're doing well. I thought Cavallini was injured. We all did. We're all pretty genuinely surprised that he's here. And I don't expect many minutes. I'd expect him maybe playing in 2 games, playing about 20 minutes in those games. But again, I don't know exactly how fit he is. Only really he and the coaching staff will. Pete was Thailand raised, coached there and India, then moved to the US and is now an actor. Pete, you have a very cool career, my man. I did not know any of that. I knew he lived in LA, but Pete got his coaching education in England too. Huh. What a life. I'm born and raised in Canada. I've traveled. I've been to 27 different countries, so don't think I'm too boring. I've only lived in Canada, though. I've been to 27 different countries, backpacked through Europe. My aunt lives in Mexico. So, I got some interesting, but Pete's life sounds a little bit more interesting in terms of where he's been. Very cool, man. I'm looking forward to talking to him. Tottenham up 1-0 against Eustachio's team. I wonder if selling him is more likely if they don't get Europe. I want to see him move, man. He's been linked. For you guys who don't know, there were those links to Napoli. Think of them what you will. I don't know how legit they were. There's links to Porto, but they chose his teammate last year. His partner in crime, Costa, went to Porto instead of Eustachio. The only other rumor I've heard has been Braga. But again, those died down. But hear me out, and you Canadians will understand this. And if you're familiar with geography, you'll understand this. Portugal. Spain wraps around Portugal. TSN just got a deal with La Liga for a lot of their games to be on TSN. Eustachio had one of the best performances from a midfielder you're going to find in a Gold Cup. He's available for dirt cheap, huge potential. Canadian men's national team. Why not go to La Liga? Why not make that quick jump? Similar climate. He would have to go not far at all. Find a Getafe. Find a team like that. And not only is he now jumping up to a top 5 league in La Liga, he's available for Canadians to watch on TSN. It just makes sense. I don't understand why a La Liga team maybe wouldn't take a hit on him. Any La Liga team. But again, I digress. This guy gets it and has literally taste. Mike, what would you say? All right, where are we? I will be in the supporters section for the Honduras game. I will make sure to send you some videos. I love it, James. I love it. I'd be pumped, man. I'm going to toss them right up and let the viewers see what's there. It's going to be pretty cool. Listen, I've uploaded an edit of you timing me out. Good, I'm glad. Given the role the MLS had in developing players like Davies, how does the league ever escape the reputation of development league, retirement home, and nothing really in the middle? Oh, it's so tough. It's tough for several reasons. Not only will we ever be able to compete with the big clubs in Europe, it's a different structure, especially in North America. There is no relegation. There is no top-ended type of teams. A lot of the DPs that come in help the team or the league to be well-rounded. Until you enter a relegation, which again would completely deteriorate the league growing, because you have a risk to the amount of money you invest, because you could get relegated and then there goes a lot of your revenue. So for that reason alone makes it very unlikely that it will become a league like that. But even looking at leagues like Argentina and Brazil, Brazil has a relegation system where they have the 20 teams in the top league, 20 teams in the second league, where teams go up and down each year. But again, they're looked at a development league because Brazil's got unbelievable talents who come in and then get shipped on over to different leagues. I don't know if there's anything we can do. All we can do right now with the MLS, because we're North American, at least I am. I've seen how leagues in North America are run. I think it makes the MLS unique in its own way. I can watch now Canadian men's national team players, my beloved Borussia Dortmund, leagues like that, and then get a different perspective watching the MLS, which will always have well-rounded, decent teams, and give it something else. I don't think the MLS will ever get away from a development league, but it should get away from a retirement home because it's no longer that. It's producing talent left, right, and center. Not a lot of players are going here to die. I mean, Zlatan came there, but he ended up going back to Europe. Higuain came here. I mean, yes, it's the tailor end of his career, but it's not like he's 38, 39. He's doing good numbers. We're getting good players coming in. Pity Martinez was the Argentine Player of the Year, and he chose to come to Atlanta to be a bust, but you guys get my point. So the MLS deserves a huge credit for the amount of product it's producing, the entertainment it's getting, and I don't think it'd be fair to call it a retirement home. But that's just my opinion. Pete is from 11 Yanks. Got a collab coming up with him soon. Buchanan going to Europe is such a big deal because not only is he coming from an MLS team, but he went to the NCAA route instead of coming through the MLS Academy. It's a cool story, and TSN didn't do a great job covering it, which a lot of Canadians were pretty annoyed by. MLS is so underrated. We need playing there. Yeah. I remember when it was Davey's last game against Portland. It was great, and I got us to sign a farewell card for him. That's sweet. Davey's last game was actually pretty broadcasted on TSN. I remember watching it. It was a huge applaud seeing someone of homegrown Canadian talent moving on over to Bayern, which was huge. By the way, I found out that we have family in Canada, living in Langford. There's some places in Pacific to play games. It's going to be all right in Canada. There you go, OC. Let me know if you end up going over there. It's 2-0 now, 2 goals by Harry Kane. I'm going to have to switch over and watch the rest of that game. I'm going to do a couple more questions here. MLS needs to get rid of the salary cap before it becomes competitive. That's a huge other point. To become competitive with Liga MX and those, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. What Canadian city deserves an MLS expansion team? Personally, I don't think there will be another Canadian team in the MLS. I don't. I think the CPL will definitely keep expanding. I think that's the main goal. I don't know, man. It'd be tough. Looking at the numbers Atletico Ottawa were getting was impressive. Ottawa's a nice one. I don't know if they could do an MLS team considering the fact that Atletico Ottawa is there. Maybe another team in Quebec, but I don't know. I really don't know. It's tough. MLS inevitably rise. Greatest basketball, baseball, hockey, football leagues are all in North America for a reason. It is, but that's what made me so fascinated with football when I was younger. Watching basketball, baseball, which I don't like, but I know how they're run. Hockey, which I do like because I'm Canadian. And NFL, CFL, seeing how they're run and then seeing how soccer is run across the world just brought me in. It was such a different way to look at it. I absolutely loved it. But the MLS still falls under that North American market with salary caps, with a league with no risk, not being a relegation. So I think there's a lot of things to go and play before they ever became irrelevant to the bigger leagues in Europe. But I'm not expecting that out of them. I like watching the MLS regardless, and I think it makes them their own kind of niche, and I don't have an issue with it. Maybe the salary cap for competing in CONCACAF, but for the time being, I'm happy with the MLS. I like watching it. and I think it's doing an excellent job. Did you see the MLS versus MXC All-Stars? What were your thoughts? What do you think should be... do you think this should be a once-a-year game? Yes, I do. And you know why? Because I've watched a lot of MLS games. I watched them take on Bayern when Lewandowski just joined. I watched them take on Juve. I believe Roma was in there too. The Milans, Madrids. It's not taken near as seriously from the European team. Liga MX and MLS have a rivalry. They were pissed probably that they lost that game. I thought there was more intensity. I thought players came out there to prove a point. I thought the leagues proved a point. I thought it was class. Went down to a penalty shootout. MLS took it. I loved it. Loved every second of it. And I think absolutely each All-Star game should be exactly the way it did. It's a real North American thing, I know, but it made it special. I promise you that. And I believe Alexi Lala asked a question yesterday. I can't remember. I tuned in very lately, and it was about like how to help basically the MLS change a little bit or something along those lines. And they said, we don't want to. We're proud of exactly how we are, and I think that's the right play. I do. Is MLS above CPL in Canadian soccer pyramid? Is MLS even in the pyramid? That's a tricky question, but I mean, like, there's 3 Canadian teams in the MLS, and those teams are higher quality than the CPL teams. But tonight, we got Pacific FC taking on Vancouver Whitecaps, which would be very cool for the Canadian Championship, where you get to see some of the CPL teams take on the likes of Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver. But yeah, I mean, they're the highest, I guess, of the pyramid, because there is still like the TFC Whitecaps Academy lead to the MLS route. Who do you think will captain Canada for the games? The captain will be Borjan, is my assumption. Hutch and Vittoria have chances, depending on which one of the 3 start, I would say in order. Borjan, Hutch, and Vittoria. Since I have a big backyard and soccer net, I pretended Canada has its own league and I always win. I just feel like Canada wins in everything. I like it. It was good for an All-Star game. Better than the NBA, NHL. I agree, because there was something to prove. The NHL All-Star games have fallen apart lately. And they got more competitive when they switched to 3-on-3 because they put a little bit of money on the line. But all in all, I was impressed by it. I did. But last comment of the day. Despite being a non-soccer specific, should Rogers Central have considered the host venue for the 2026 World Cup because BMO's field smaller capacity? I think anyone and everyone should have. COVID aside, if there's an opportunity to host a World Cup game, World Cup qualifier, World Cup anything in Canada, yes. And especially when it comes to a 2026 venue for a World Cup, every single possible option should have been considered and should have gone. But I mean, there's a lot more to go into consideration, and it is the reason it went the way it did. But I don't know. We're gonna have to see the way it goes. But yeah, actually, that's another great point. Rogers having grass is probably why. But yeah, that is it. Thanks for the stream. I enjoyed it. I'm glad you guys did. On your way out, if you haven't already, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. And hopefully we'll see you guys with some other streams coming up. I really enjoyed this. Good luck to the Canadian national team, and we'll see you guys for the watch along in less than a week.